You're spending time on the wrong leads. But what if AI could tell you instantly who's hot and you should drop everything to talk to them, or who's wasting your time? In this video, I'll show you how to build a lead scoring system using ChatGPT and your CRM without writing a single line of code. This is the same scoring system I used for SaaS companies, now saving 10+ hours every single week. For those new to the channel, my name is Remi. I was a director of engineering for 15 years, and I now run an AI automation agency where I build automation and AI agents like I'm about to show you every single day. Most sales teams are wasting time talking to the wrong people, and manual scoring is so slow and repetitive, and it's also very subjective. AI can eat this kind of task for breakfast. The automation I'm about to show you will get you real-time scoring and completely automated. Here's a high-level overview. First, we're going to pull the lead data from your CRM or a form, or in this case, a Google Sheet. This is what I'll be using today. Then we'll scrape additional information about that person and the company, and we're going to be sending all of that into ChatGPT to score from 1 to 10 based on a specific criteria. And then finally, we'll be writing back to the CRM. In our case, it's a Google Sheet, but the same would apply. All right, let's dive in. All right, so we're going to be using Make.com today. We're going to build an automation flow, slightly different than AI agents, but you'll get the gist in just a few minutes. So what I built first is the CRM YouTube spreadsheet. It's very basic, it just has a few fields, but let's say you have a CRM and you can build this directly as an integration, but I wanted to keep it simple here and I built the Google Sheet instead. And here it will contain, let's say you have a lead coming in with name, email, title, company, and website. That's all you have about those. And what the workflow will automate in here is the scoring. So it will put a 1 through 10 type of score and an explanation, a comma separated type of explanation, why it thought that way, and what was the actual number for each of those. So that's what we're going to be building. In order to get started, so you can create a new scenario, you can create a free account on Make.com. You can just get started and create a new scenario. It's going to be very similar if you've used N8N. It's going to be very, very similar in terms of setup. And I'm about to walk you through the whole thing. So first of all, we're going to be integrating with Google Sheets. So anytime someone's adding to the Google Sheet, we're going to be triggering and watching for new rows. I already have the connection set up in here, but if you don't, you would just see that and you just need to sign in with Google. Very just a button and then everything is the same. You will be selecting your spreadsheet ID. All right, so it found the CRM YouTube, and then I will pick the first sheet. The table contains the header, yes. The row with header will keep the same. This is fine, this is the first row. I will want to limit to 1 per run. We don't want to have multiple at the same time. We'll just keep it 1 at a time to keep it simple. We'll hit save, and it's asking which row ID are we started from. So I'll just say row 2. So once we have the lead information, we're going to want to test that piece so that we can go along the way and test step by step. So I'm going to do a run once and then add some data into the spreadsheet. All right, so I added my own information and let's see if that picks it up. I'm actually going to update and start at ID 1. And now it's picking it up. So it has all the information here and we can get going with the next module. So we're going to be connecting to Apollo. Apollo is a way to enrich your leads data. There, you could just go to developers.apollo.io, create a free account, and you will be able to generate a API key. Very similar, you'll be able to paste that API key in there and connect with copy paste. The specific function that we want to run is actually make a custom API call at the end to just really get a specific API. We want to hit that specific API in here. This is the people enrichment. There's also an organization, so company enrichment that you could be running as well. But for this exercise, I think this will give us enough data to get going. So you can pass in first name, last name, name, email. Everything is in the documentation here. I'll link everything in the description if you want to learn more. But as is, all you need to know is the URL and what are the parameters to post. And also keep in mind, this is a post. So for API information, this is very important. So I'm going to copy this. Same here. You might not see this exact screen the first time. It will ask for an API key. Just put in the API key as I showed before and you will see that screen. So for the URL, keep in mind there's a little instruction underneath that you should only put everything that is after API Apollo. So just keep that in mind. So we want this API v1 people match. We can keep the header the same. This is already recommended and pre-filled. This is perfect. You don't need to add any sort of authorization because the API key is already in there. What's important is for the body, because I should put a post here, as I was mentioning before. This is in the documentation. In the body, that's very important. For post requests, you need to put things in the body, and query string is for get request. So what I'm going to do here is you can put the specific format. This is what it says that you should put in here, right? This is saying you should put in always JSON type of format. So this is what we're doing. And I will here pass in the email. You can drag and drop the email in here and the domain in there as the website, and even shows the example based on how we were running that before. This is perfect. We can hit save. So we have the Apollo working here. And the next one, we're going to be using FireCrawl. So FireCrawl is a way to crawl or scrape a specific website. As you can see here, it is turning a URL into the actual content of the website in the markdown. So it's very easy to get and extract all the information that you need and then pass that into the AI later on as extra context. So just create an account. It will create an API key for you. Just grab that API key, and similar, when you create the new module, you will want to put scrape a website. It will ask to put in the API key, which I already did in here. You want to put the URL to scrape. You can drag and drop just like N8N. You can just put that in here. I clicked it and it already came in. I want it to be markdown. That's the easiest and most simple to understand for the AI. There's a lot of extra options, most of which I don't really care about. So we're going to keep it simple and just keep it that. All right, so we have FireCrawl going. So what that means at this point is we have enriched the data from Apollo with more information about the person. Then from FireCrawl, we were able to get all the company website information, and all of that needs to now be put into a prompt, just like you would put in ChatGPT, but you just need to do it in an automated fashion. So we're going to be adding a new module for OpenAI. Show more. I'll do a completion prompt. There we go. We can do ChatGPT and O1 models. That's perfect. In the models here, you can select if you really need a reasoning model. You can use O3 in here. That's one of the most powerful reasoning model right now, although I'm sure it will change by the time you watch this video later on. Or you can use kind of a work for everything, everyday type of model, 4.0. We can get started with that for now. So like most of my videos before, the important piece is to know that there's two types of prompts that you need to pass in. There's the user prompt, which means something that you would type into ChatGPT normally, all the information that you want. And then you have the system prompt. So anything that instructs how to behave based on the user data that is being passed in, right? So we're going to be starting with the more complex one, which is the system prompt. I already have prepared one, so I'll show you guys exactly what that is. So that prompt is saying, you are an expert B2B SaaS growth advisor. You can, of course, update and tweak based on what you need. Your job is to analyze company and contact data, return a structured lead score and explanation why in comma-separated keywords. So it's listing all the things to take into account to score the lead, and then an example of what needs to be returned. So it needs to be in a specific format. The usual JSON is a really great place to get started. JSON is really just a format of how to structure that data, but it's not really complicated. It just has to be that specific format. You need to have a key and you need to have a value, right? So in here, it needs to be from 1 to 10, and the explanation will be the comma-separated why, and then, currently hiring, recent funding, C-level decision maker. So you quickly at a glance know why it was scored that way. If there's limited data, make your best guess and only return the JSON output. This is very important because you don't want to be returning something else, because then everything else will kind of be unexpected format. So I put the system prompt in here, but you will also need to add the user prompt. So this is all the information from all the previous modules, and make sure that you have all the context passed in. So this is what it will contain. You can put in one by one all the information that you need, right? So the name, email, job title, company website, and enrich person data from Apollo, which I'll make sure this is the right one. And then the markdown information we're going to be using in here, the company website information. So that's perfect. Max completion token, that's probably fine as is. The important piece is to actually structure and return something that is structured as JSON. So you need to pass that. So in the response format, in the advanced settings, you can switch from text to JSON. And then you'll want to actually parse the JSON so that it can extract all the data that you need later on. Now we can hit save, and we're going to be duplicating the row in here and rerun the entire flow. All right, so it's processing Google Sheet. You can tap the little bubble and it will tell you the information. Apollo is returning some information. FireCrawl is returning some information. Right, the output, it shows the markdown, and you can find everything that's on my website. It would grab it here, and then it will feed that to the AI. And let's see what the AI is returning here. So in the output, there's some results, putting a lead score of 8 and an explanation. So that's sort of why. And so then all we need to do is add that back into the Google Sheet. We'll put that in a new column. So it will update a row. Just need to find the spreadsheet again. First sheet, which row to update. So that one is dynamic. It can't always be the same row. It's whatever row we were processing. The good news is that in the first trigger, we actually have the row ID directly. So we just need to drag and drop that. Table contains header. Yes, that's the same. And then you actually put in what value you want to update. So from the AI, we get the lead score, right? So we're going to drag that into the score column and then the explanation into the explanation column. So I'm going to right click and run this one just so we finish that row. We were on row 3. So the lead score of 8 and explanation of this. Okay. All right. So that ran that last module and that updated it. And there we go. We have our score and explanation already done. So we can try with someone else just to wrap that up. But as is, you already have a lead scoring. You could potentially pass that back into your CRM, have some different pipelines based on urgency or score level. You can definitely build a lot more into this, but just want to get started with this this example here. All right, so I've used this in another video where I actually rebuilt this website with Lovable, but here's an example of another person. Let's see how that goes. All right, it's processing all the data like before. It ran through all the steps and it said it updated it. So let's see. Oh, there we go. So it put this one as a 7, small company, engineering industry, CEO as contact, digital tools in use. It makes sense. Having a CEO, having a strong decision maker helps a lot as a strong lead, and well, the company size, etc. plays a big role into this as well. So here we go. You can just keep having your leads added as rows directly in here and you'll get the job going. It will automatically score all of the leads without having to do anything, and a small explanation why. And yeah, that's it. That was make.com and how to build an automation workflow. If you want the prompt and make.com scenario, subscribe and click the link in the description. You'll get access to it completely free and you can start using it right away in your company. If you want to see more automation workflows that work for you, let me know in the comments. I have a lot more content in the works and this is all coming out soon. Hit the like button if you found this helpful. It really helps promote my content. I'll see you in the next one.